Hello everybody. So this is my little boat, and that is the motor I plan on using with this little boat. So as you can see, this is a tiller steer outboard. The idea here is, since the boat has remote controls, it'd be silly not to use them. So the plan for this video is to show you how to hook everything up. Now steering is pretty simple, especially since it's already installed. I made a video previously showing you different types of steering. I don't want to get into that again, so I'll put a link to that video below, or if I figure out how to put it in the video, I'll do that. So this is mostly going to be how to hook up the shift and throttle cables, because that's not done yet. But as long as I'm here, might as well show you how to hook up the steering. Alright, steering is hooked up. Let's give it a try. See? Piece of cake. Now there's a problem with our shift and throttle cables that look like this. They have nowhere to go. And it's the same story on the other side. So we're going to need some parts. Alright, excuse the dirty table. So on these older motors, and not really even older motors, you know, that motor is from 1958 and they're pretty much the same all the way, you know, sometimes up into the 80s. The first thing you're going to need are some of these little cable clamps. They vary a little bit. For the most part, these are all the same. In fact, these will fit a lot of motors out of the 80s still. Just their shape may vary a little bit. But for the most part, these are going to be what you're going to want in a lot of older motors. You know, even from the 70s all the way back. You can buy these new. Let me check the price. Alright, the shift is 20, the throttle is... Actually, the shift is 12, the throttle is 20. So that's what they cost new, so they're really not that expensive. It's also pretty easy to tell which is what. We have port and starboard there, P&S, so that's obvious, pretty easy. This is going to become our port. It's going to be our throttle, starboard, our shift. So pretty easy to do. Now these should have a little spring clip inside of there to lock them down, kind of give them some tension. Those cost, let me check, $8 each. So I'll pick some up probably, but hopefully I can find some used ones laying around. Our throttle is also going to require what's called a spring clip, which goes there. And with that, we also needed a way to attach those two clamps. Now, the actual screw you're supposed to use looks like that. So this is the screw that holds it on. It is a 1024 and 7/16 long. Now, good luck getting that over at Home Depot. Just throwing that out there. You can buy, you know, 3/8 or half, but a 7/16 is not going to happen. So, rather than spending $8 on a new screw, I decided to pick up 2 halves, and my plan is to just ditch the internal lock washer here. So that's my go-to for that one. 50 cents versus $16. Now the shift connector, that gets a little more expensive. You need 3 parts for that one instead of just one little clip. You need first your little pin, which looks like that. That is called a lock pin. It retails for $38, and as you can see, it's not exactly an off-the-shelf little part, so it's pretty technical there. Next thing you're gonna need for that is a spring. Spring is $8, so that's not a huge deal. But if you realize you're spending $8 for a little spring, then you realize you're kind of overpaying. And then you're gonna need what's called a groove pin. It retails for $8, and this is probably the most expensive little part for given its size, but that's the groove pin that is $8. It is tiny. So those are the parts that we're going to need to connect everything up. So let's go do that real quick. So the first thing I want to do is find out what cable does what. So to do that, I'm going to shift it. So as I go, that one moves first, and then the throttle moves. So this one is throttle. So to remember that, I'm going to install the throttle clip onto it. So now I'll always know that is my throttle. I suppose a good way to remember this, the one that says S is for shift. Anywho, so I'm going to install these first for no reason. One hole is slightly larger than the other. That prevents you from putting this on upside down. See what I mean? So on some motors, this block isn't included. It's part of a kit you have to buy. But on this motor, it comes with it. Install our screw, tighten down a bit. Perfect. Now as it sits right now, I can't shift this into forward or reverse because the gears are kind of meshed right now. So what I'm going to do is rotate the flywheel a little bit until I find a sweet spot where I can move it back and forth. Now these cables all have a natural kind of kink to them, so I don't want to force the cables to do anything they don't want to do. So right there feels about a natural spot for it. So I can put the cable in, go right about there. And that is the orientation, I suppose you'd call it, of how I'm going to install this shift pin. Now what I mean by that is that's sitting naturally right there, so I can bend it this way just a hair and it'd line up, but I don't want to force it all the way that way. So let's put our spring and pin in, just like so. And a little tiny pin. A little pair of pliers to get started. Alright, it's about halfway in right there. And that will be by far the hardest part of this, is getting that pin in. And as you can see, mine isn't perfect, but good enough. Alright, put the shifter about where it needs to go, right in neutral. I'm going to move the little adjustment block, so it's right about in the middle. Pull at the backlash just a bit. That should do it. See if it works. Yep. Perfect. Reverse. Alright, that's hooked up. Measure about where this should go. Apparently that's as far as it's getting. Let's give the throttle a try. So we're in forward, and throttle's working. So there may be a point to where the throttle is a little stiff. On some motors you have to remove what's called the friction block out of the tiller handle here. If so, it's just a screw. You pull it off and it's a little red round plastic cap you pull out. That eliminates a lot of the friction out of the controller here. This particular engine doesn't have one, so don't need to worry about it. So as you can see, this is a pretty easy process, and it's pretty much the same for all these older little things. Questions, comments, concerns, or thoughts, let me know below. Also in the description you'll find the links / part numbers for all of the little parts and accessories you're going to need.